There you are. Welcome back to my backyard and to the roaster. It's nighttime. It's late, but even though it's late, the beans still have to be roasted. I'm getting to the end of the beans that I have in stock, so I'm doing something a little special today. I took a little bit of the beans that I had left from each varietal and just combined them. On their own, I didn't have enough to fill the roaster and do a batch, but together I was able to get about 450 grams of beans, which is enough to do a batch. So I've got some Ethiopian in here, I've got some Colombian in here, just some leftover from all the beans that we've been roasting the last few months. So the thing about a pre-blended roast is that all these beans need different things to roast and to get the best flavor out. Some need a little more time, a little less time, a little more heat, a little less heat. So it's pretty risky to blend them ahead of time and roast them. Normally what I would do is roast everything, get the beans perfect on their own, and then if I want to blend flavors, do it after the fact with the roasted beans. But that's not the case today, and we can't let beans go to waste, so we're going to do a pre-blended roast. My strategy is to take the roast, I want to keep it light, but take it a little further than I normally would so that all the beans have a chance to get into first crack. How am I going to know that they've all hit first crack? I won't, really. I'll just smell them and look at them, and if it feels like they're done, I'll pull them. So, very exciting. Let's load them up. And they're on their way. It is colder tonight. It's definitely getting to be late fall. And so I'm not sure what to expect from the roaster. The ambient temperature definitely affects what happens on the inside. I gave it a good long charge tonight while I was getting things ready, so it could really start out nice and hot. Hopefully that's enough to make it through the roast and keep things pretty consistent. We should know right out the gate here, depending on when turning point happens. And it just happened at the minute mark. I'll roast these hot. Put my air at 2.5. Turning point is that point when I'll just pass the whistle. Turning point is that point when I drop the beans in, and when I first drop the beans in, I've turned off my fire and everything because I don't want to overwhelm them. But the chamber is hot, so I've got a thermometer right where the beans are, and you watch the temperature of those beans drop and drop and drop, and then on their own there's a point where they just go back up and they start to take on the heat of the chamber. That's turning point. So it usually happens around the minute mark, and that just helps the beans get acclimated, pulls a little moisture out of them, and gets them ready for the roasting process. So right now we're just over 2 minutes in, and the beans are at 230 degrees, so they are on their way. The roaster seems to be doing great despite the cold, so I'm optimistic. It already smells great out here, and we'll just keep an eye on them and hope for the best. Remember, the challenge with today is that these beans come from opposite sides of the world, and structurally they're just a little different. The density is going to be different, so I want to get in and out of here as quickly as possible. I think that's a good strategy for every bean in there, and hopefully I can get every bean cooked through to the center before I've scorched the ones that are a little less dense. So that combination of Ethiopian beans, which are usually sweeter and a little more sensitive to the heat, mixed with these Colombian beans, which are a little more chocolatey and kind of citric. The Colombian beans are usually more dense, and they can really withstand the heat. So we're really mixing the polar opposites here, and hopefully it turns out well. We can still get a nice light medium roast out of these. So we're at 3.5 minutes, and the temperature is 281. Tasting really well, smelling really great. I'm excited. So, looking out right now, the sky is pitch black. It's cloudy. There were clouds rolling in today. I got to watch the sunset, and when the rain comes in, it's always really colorful. It is still fall, and we're getting to that part in the season where the trees have lost a lot of their leaves now in town. The temperature is getting colder. We've gotten some rain this week, but they're saying that tonight it's going to snow for the first time. I've seen snow on the mountaintops, but it hasn't made its way down here yet. So we'll see what happens. All right, we're well on our way now. The beans are definitely browning. They're starting to get that toasty cookie smell that I love. We're 7 minutes in and we're at 347 degrees, so I think we're pacing to hit first crack around the 9-minute mark, which will be really nice if that does happen. Oh, and they look so good. Especially on a night like tonight where it's so cool outside. It's like I just want to jump into those beans and take a nap. Oof. 380. There it is. Some police sirens, but also first crack. Oh man, I hope there's nothing bad going on. I gotta investigate, but I gotta watch the beans. Okay, it's happening fast. I'm gonna turn the air up. And with this air cranked, hopefully that slows down first crack on the beans that have already started cracking and gives enough time for the rest of them to catch up. Okay, we're at 390, and it is a robust crack. Oh, listen to that. This is risky. 392. I think I'm going to pull him at 395. 393. 394. It was slowing down. They might get too dark. I'm pulling them now. There we go. Okay. Now I just got to get these cooled off as fast as possible. Stop that cooking process so that nothing burns. This was a fast roast. They hit first crack a little earlier than 9 minutes, and I ended up pulling them at 10. It's usually tough for me to get to first crack that quickly, but I don't know, maybe the cold air helps it. Oh yeah, cooling down nice and fast. That's good. Yeah, I don't know why they would have gone faster than normal. This is about 30 seconds faster than they normally finish roasting. Maybe it has something to do with the ambient air. Maybe it took longer to get the roaster up to temp, and so the convective air inside was stronger than normal without any ambient air helping it out. I don't know. Oh, these feel great. Sometimes I like to just take a break from the spoon and in the final stretch just stick my fingers right in there. Feel them cool off. Ooh. Nice thing about this cold air is it is cooling them off really quickly. I really want to get or make a stronger bean cooler than this one. I feel like it can take me up to 2 minutes to cool the beans down sometimes, and where I'm really watching these delicate flavors, you know, I want to cool them down in like 30 seconds. So this cold air helps with that. Okay. I guess I'll have a look. Oh yeah. These are great. Consistency can be hard because there are so many different beans in here, but it looks to me like the smaller beans, which are probably the African beans, are a little darker, and the bigger beans, which are the Colombian beans, are a little lighter. So I'm glad I held on to it a little longer than normal, because I don't want those Colombian beans to be sour. Well, with so many things going on, I am going to give these a chance to rest overnight and try them in the morning. Aside from the clouds, I don't see any signs of snow yet. It's definitely cold enough to snow. And it is dark, so we'll see. We might wake up to snow in the morning. But if we don't wake up to snow, I know we're definitely waking up to some delicious pre-blended coffee beans. We'll see. we'll see how they turned out. Oh, they smell great. Gosh, I feel like they smell a little stronger than normal when I just do a single origin. Just a melting pot of coffee goodness. Hopefully we got everything cooked through. We'll bring these inside and we'll try them in the morning. Good morning. Well, it didn't snow. You know, I love the fall and I like to hold on to it as long as possible, but if I'm being honest, I was really getting myself excited about the snow. And then it didn't happen. That's a beautiful thing. I've got my my pre-blend roast here. It's got some Colombian, some Ethiopian in there, some other stuff. I don't even know what it is. I ground it up this morning and brewed it. I did a little percolating brew, let them soak for a little while. And I gotta say, when I ground them, they smelt really nice. They smelt really nice. They smelt like they were on the upper end of a light roast. It usually takes, I'd imagine with so many different things going on, it'll take about a week or so before this really settles into some nice flavor. So I'm kind of jumping the gun trying it the next morning, but I just can't help myself. Plus, I'll get to spend the rest of the week trying this every day and following it on the journey as it changes flavors. But as of right now, surprisingly, it smells very, very developed. It smells like it's already had a few days to settle in. But smell isn't always the best indicator of taste. The number one indicator of taste is, well, taste. So we're going to go in for that first sip. You know, I guess there's that part of me that just expects it to go bad sometimes. There's a part of me that it thinks I'm going to go in for that first sip and it's just going to be bad. And I'm going to have to stand here and say, oh man, it wasn't that great. Hopefully we do better the next time. But you know what? This just isn't one of those times. Oh. It's great. You know, what's interesting is it's hard to pinpoint a specific flavor. If I was tasting strawberries and tamarind and the Ethiopian before and maybe orange peel and the Colombian, where it's all just blended together in this, it isn't so distinct. It is a light roast, but there's just this general feeling of fruitiness and toastiness. You could tell that there are some beans that went a little further down the journey, bringing in kind of those dark flavors, but there are some that are still holding back. My number one concern, though, is there's no sourness. We did get everything roasted all the way through. There's nothing bitter. Oh, it's it's really good. It's a really nice cup of coffee. I think this was a success. I'm calling the pre-blend a success. I would give this to someone. I would share this with someone I care about. I don't know that I could replicate it because I wasn't really paying attention to the beans that went in there. But this wasn't really about replication. This was about making use of what I had. And what a great use it was. You know, it's going to be a busy week. It is Thanksgiving this week, so I do have a few birds on deck. I have some dishes that I want to prepare. I want to make some turkey, some rice dressing. So I'm very excited. I really do love Thanksgiving. I love spending time with family. Most of all, I love cooking. I've had Thanksgivings where I've been away and haven't been able to cook, and there is something missing for me if I don't get to cook anything. So it doesn't look like it's going to be a snowy Thanksgiving. And I sometimes find myself at odds with Thanksgiving, because I'm pretty fortunate. I have a really nice life and a lot of peace, and there are a few times that I go without. I'm certainly grateful for that. I guess I think about the folks who are going without, and folks who don't have peace right now. It makes it complicated to know who or what to be grateful to for my good fortune. I'm grateful for this cup of coffee, and I am grateful to have people that I care about and people that care about me. So I'm excited to spend as much time as I can with them this week.